AMC brings the trials of Superman to our television screens. Hidden Remote got together with Blaine who portrays Joe Shuster, one of the comic book writers who brought Superman to life, from the new AMC Visionaries program, The Trials of Superman. The book showcases Superman after a battle with Parasite. He has become weak and then exposed. Superman is then held and sled in chains. He is arrested by a group of intergalactic law enforcement officers. Superman is then brought to another galaxy, which takes his powers and put on trial by a fearsome alien tribunal. There he discovers that the planet Krypton and its inhabitants was destroyed by a relative. Superman is found guilty of a crime by ancestry and sentenced to death. It will be up to the Man of Steel and other superheroes to get to him free before the sentence is carried forth. Unfortunately, Cyborg Superman is there to prevent that all from happening. Hidden Remote. When did you find acting was for you? Blaine Anderson. It was at my first big on-stage experience. I was doing a play called Lone Star by James McClure. Telling a story through acting was so exhilarating. I just felt alive on stage. Hidden Remote. Tell me about your audition process. My audition process is I get my script and read it without any preconceived notions. I don't try to make anything of it. I just read it as it comes to me, about 4 or 5 times without making a judgment. Then I read it out loud. From there, I start doing a bit of work on memorizing and then go into a bit of blocking. After that, I do research about the show, the director, the feel of the show that I'm doing, the network, and then I just keep working it and working it, because you only have maybe a day to prepare before you go into the audition. In regards to AMC Visionaries, Robert Kirkman's Secret History of Comics, I didn't even audition for Joe Shuster. I auditioned for a few other characters, including Jerry Siegel, but I think they were pretty spot on in casting me and Brendan Taylor to play Joe and Jerry. Hidden Remote. How did you prepare for your role? I didn't have a ton of time between being cast and then going to camera. It was maybe a week and a half. I read and ed as much on Joe as I could and then gave it my best. Hidden Remote. When researching, what did you find interesting about Joe Shuster? One physical fact about Joe is that he was almost legally blind while being an artist. I, myself, am pretty blind. Since grade 7, I've had glasses, so I could relate to that. I thought it was interesting that he was a person who used his eyes, but that was one of his challenges. Hidden Remote. How does Shuster fit into the story? What is his main goal focus? He was such an imaginative, meek, and warm person. I think to just share the story of this superhero character with the world was his primary goal. He was so proud of their creation, and to see people enjoy it, that was his focus. Hidden Remote. Why do you think The Trials of Superman works best for both Shuster and Siegel, instead of a different storyline? I think that The Trials of Superman, the character, and The Trials of Joe and Jerry are very parallel to each other. Viewers will see the struggle that Joe and Jerry went through to be recognized for Superman, and it will give them a closer human connection to Superman himself and his fight for justice. Hidden Remote. What elements do you find that both you and Shuster have in common? I think he could be pretty quiet. In some of his interviews, he would sit and observe and then will throw out a comment here or there, whether it was timed right or not. That's very much me. I can sit in a room and people might not notice me and then I'll come out with something. So I think that observer nerd quality is what we have in common. Hidden Remote. Since Shuster and Siegel worked together well, how was the relationship between you and Brendan? I've known Brendan for quite a while and we had no idea we were cast together. The production team and AMC didn't know that we were friends, and that just goes to show how good their casting was. I don't think I could have done it without Brendan. We had such a chemistry on set that could have taken a long time to build, but it was already there, and I think that AMC was very happy with that. It was like two friends on screen. Hidden Remote. Did you have any interest in Superman books or comics in general? I was a big comic book collector, yes. I remember the first time I saw in our local comic book store that Superman had died. I was angry with tears and I had to go in and buy it, just so I could be angry and enjoy it. Hidden Remote. You have one superpower to choose. Which one, and do you use it for good or evil? EA the ability to stop time. I would become a sports player and maybe use it for bad, but then I would learn to use it for good. That would be my journey. It would start off a little tricksterish and then I would find an honorable way to use my power. Blaine Anderson has also guest-starred on shows like Rogue, Psych, and Fringe and is an emerging film producer as well. His last acting producing effort, Residue, won Most Shocking Horror Feature at Crypticon Kansas City Horror Film Festival a few months ago. The episode, entitled The Trials of Superman, airs Monday, November 20th at 10 p.m. ETPT on AMC.